Hey, what's up? What's up, Michael? How you doing, bro?
Man, it's good to be back.
I know, right?
Yeah, man.
Man, at least now I don't feel as bad for missing, so many because now I'm like, okay,
I
you got
missed one, bro. Man, it's
oh
good. It's good to. I couldn't wait to hang out again tonight. And hang out with everybody in the chat. So, you been doing okay?
yeah, just busy work, of course, but yeah, it's good, brother.
Yeah,
How you been? I can't wait to hear about your trip, but
yeah.
besides,
That's a fun conversation. But man, I have been balls to the wall, crazy with the dark side. And we've had these crazy since I got back from Wonderfest this whole week. We've been getting rain here in Texas. It's been
oh,
almost like Florida or Hawaii, where we were getting rain like an
oh,
hour or so a day, and I mean, the temperatures were good. But man, we've had these like record breaking temperatures, man, like 105 and 106. And I've been spending the last 3 days out. And man, I had a little bit of heat exhaustion, I think, earlier this morning. Yeah, I got to just take it easy from the sun. It's
geez.
brutal. It's brutal.
See, what's crazy is that it's the opposite here, right? So in San Diego, usually it's like nice and sunny. We
Right.
haven't had a nice sunny day. Well, actually today was kind of sunny, but we haven't had a full sunny day. I think they said for the last like month and a half or something like that. Just
Wow.
crazy. It's been like overcast, cloudy, rainy some days. It's
That's
insane,
crazy. Take advantage of it and enjoy it while it's there,
right? Yeah.
for damn sure. It's
Well,
good to see everybody in the chat. You want to introduce them?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Got Matt. What's up, Matt?
Thanks for being here, Matt.
We got Jens in the house. What up, Jens?
Got some stuff to talk about with that guy.
Yeah. Robin, what's up, Robin? How you doing? Got Roger up in here. What's up, Roger? Brad. Yeah, he's Michael's back. You're out. Yeah, because Brad joined last week.
Yep, yep. Thanks for jumping in, Brad.
Sean, what's up, Sean? Oh yeah, Joseph. Yeah, yeah. Joseph sent over some pictures too that we're gonna show. Very cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. There was an unexpected surprise and treat. Can't wait to hear about that. Armando, what's up, Armando? How you doing? Chris,
Yes.
what's up?
Hey, Scott.
Scott, what's up?
Look who's here. Jason Eaton.
Jason Eaton. Jason should if he should jump on with us. Why not?
Yeah, he's welcome to it, man. We've got some crazy stuff, man. He's a nut, man, that guy. But man, he got to, I mean, even for Jason, who is, been to the archives and knows pretty much everybody. I mean, he stepped up. He had played a big role this year in Wonderfest. Yeah, man.
Very cool, man. Um, Jason. Uh, oh yeah, because you guys. Is it most? Wait, are you guys? Remind me. Are you guys nearby?
Yeah, we are. We're about 3.5 hours from each other, and they still haven't come down to see me.
I know June gloom. Everyone keeps on saying that June gloom, but I actually don't remember it ever being June gloom in San Diego. But apparently it has. I just block it out. Jason, what's up, Jason? How you doing, bro?
Thank you.
And Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Johnny's also over there, right?
Yep, yep.
Brian, what's up, Brian? How you doing, bro?
Hey, Brian, good to see you, man.
Oh, Jason said sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
let's
great.
let me give me a second and I'll send you over the link.
Yes, for sure.
Um let me so yeah. So hey, Michael, what's up with your background? Tell us about that.
With Obi-Wan, yeah. So this was the last one for a while. I've been getting nuts with the life size characters, But so we're taking the life size Vader is moving out of my home. There's only a few things that are leaving my personal gallery to go to the restaurant, and Darth Vader's one of them. So he's going to be replaced with Obi-Wan here, and I'm looking forward to having him here. So, and then we were just a few weeks ago talking about this guy right here from Close Encounters, and
Yeah.
I love this thing, man. It's
Yeah, remember we just pulled it up, and when you were like, "Oh
Yeah,
my god!" and I
yeah,
was
and then so somebody in the chat, Mike, that does the life size up in California, that with the Boba Fett, he
like,
sent me a link, and this guy was out of Greece, and dude, I got it in a week. It was amazing.
"Wow,
But I love Close Encounters, So,
yeah." Was it a decent price? About the same.
so they were anywhere from 25 to 3. I scored this for like $1,400.
What?
Yes.
Damn, that
Yeah.
is a score, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And of
Uh,
course, they have the same company.
yeah,
Uh, they just came out with the ET, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah, yeah. What is it? ECC, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
ECC?
Yeah. Elite collectible.
Jason, Jason, if you're still on, I just emailed you the link.
That's cool.
Um, there he is. Hey,
My
what's up?
man.
Yeah,
What's up,
Can you,
brother?
can you hear me?
yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Oh
cool.
yeah. Now we're
I'm
here.
on the laptop. I'm doing it low fi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? You get, I'm on the laptop as well today, so
Yeah. Me too. How you doing, Jason?
We're all like hunched over.
I know.
How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, Jason?
Ooh, ooh. Yeah,
Wilson.
Yeah. He's got a little lag.
I'm good. Hold on, I'm getting like a weird doppel.
Oh, here, I might be able to fix that for you.
Yeah.
Oh no, echo cancellation's on. I mean, you on our side, or at least on my side, you're good.
Yeah, you're good over here too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sing a song. Let's see if your lips match up. Hey, so are you recovering?
Me? Yeah. I'm hold on a second. I'm gonna hop off the track.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, that's cool. You can join us. Hey, so while he's doing that, I want to do a special shout out to my brother Jens. Jens has been sweating his nutsack, his little baby nuts off in the Java the Java room, dude, and he's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not miniature. This is life size, so it's been a lot of work. So
Yeah.
I just want to say, Jens, thank you for all your work, brother. So I can't wait to show everybody, but we're going to keep a lot of that under wraps. So.
All right.
I'm gonna plug my thing into real quick.
Okay. There's Jason back. Let's see.
I think I had two windows open.
Oh, there you go. You're good. Awesome.
Yeah. Real pro move there with that one, huh?
Happened, because you're watching it and then you jumped on,
Yeah. That was like my wife is away for a week. I just dropped her off at the airport earlier this afternoon, so I'm like, I don't know what time is anymore. So it's like usually we're like, it's 10 o'clock, let's go to bed, and I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. I'm like sad that no one's here. So
You're like, what movie am I gonna watch right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was watching Tournament of Champions 3 on Food Network or whatever the hell. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
This is better.
Well, I can't wait to talk to you guys about Wonderfest. I mean, I was watching the pictures, especially you, Jason. You're posting a lot of updates and stuff. I was like, man, that looks like so much fun. Oh, and look at who decided to jump on for a bit. Hold on.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey guys.
What's
How's
up,
it
buddy?
going?
shouldn't you be reading
Hey.
images right now?
I know I know.
I know.
I know, but you know what? I just wanted to come on and say hi and say a special thank you to you, Jason, for inviting me to Wonderfest last year and introducing me to everyone and having me again this year. It was a surreal, dreamlike experience.
This past year
And
was pretty bananas. Yeah.
and I want to thank Michael too. What a surprise! That's the surprise
Yeah.
I was talking about. I mean,
Oh my.
he texted me the day that everyone was setting up downstairs, and he's like, "Hey, they're setting up right now, aren't they? Are you gonna head down there in a little bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go down." And then I go down, and he pops out of the corner. It was a total surprise. So
Yeah.
it was an amazing experience.
Well, maybe that's why when you said surprise, I was like, what surprise are you talking about? Just because
Yeah.
because I knew that Michael had told me.
Yeah, he didn't tell me. He told me he basically wasn't going to come. And
Right.
then, yeah, so anyway.
I was gonna tell
That's all.
Jason, but I kept trying to get hold of him. He's like, "Yeah, it's it's not tonight. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to tell Jason either. So, but it was really cool.
Oh, so
No,
Jason,
great.
so you didn't know either.
No, it was cool to be. I was really, really surprised. You just showed up, and I was like, "What the hell? That's awesome!"
Yeah. That was fun. And then to see
It
Salzo,
was-
that was cool.
Well, because I talked to Jason too, and I was like, well, I don't think Michael got his ticket or booked a hotel, and then Jason's like, yeah, then he's not coming.
Yeah.
So we were both.
Well, and I was so like, he's so into studio scale, and there's like ILMers there this year, and we all brought our like A game. This would be a really great year. Like out of all the years, it sort of goes in a sine wave, and this was like a total like. I said to a couple people, like, if this is your first Wonderfest, please don't think that every year is this bananas, because it really was like out of control. Like
it was a record year, right? For model entries,
just everything. Yeah, everybody just went over the top, and I think it was partially because this is like finally everybody's relaxed about COVID, and like everybody's just like they had like a backlog of stuff to bring, and like. I don't know. I feel like this was the year that everybody was like, I got to bring my thing because the guys are there, which is always a recipe for success.
And hey, Jason, for some of our viewers, obviously that might not know, can you just tell us a little bit about Wonderfest? Like, I mean, has it been around for a while, or how did that?
Like 32 years or something? Yeah, it started off as a bunch of guys like getting together who were like building garage kits, and it just sort of snowballed from there. I think initially it was more like monster and figure stuff. In the past years it's been really Star Trek heavy, which just makes me go like, I got Star Wars has got to represent. But like I feel like it's really kind of just like grown in the past. I think I've been going for 15 years, but I'm not sure. I'm real hazy on like the first year I went, and it's 10 hours away. The first year I went, I drove 10 hours, and somebody's like, oh, this is Jeff Waclowski, JT Graphics. I'm like, oh, I know you. You make the decals. That's awesome. Where do you live? And he's like, Dundalk, Maryland. And I'm like, shit, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. We both drove 10 hours by ourselves, and you're 10 minutes away from my house. So we then started carpooling after that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at first I went because I wanted to like, buy the cool kits and like see all this stuff. And then it was like an appreciation for the people and what they made. And then it was just an appreciation for it's still the appreciation for the people and what they made. And then like, now it's like a family reunion. Like, and it's so, I have to always sort of like give this caveat, like there are probably a half dozen people that were there that I literally did not see. And I'm like, how? Like there's so many people I saw that I only had like 5 seconds to go like, hey, buckaroo, as I was like running to go do something. And like, I wanted to talk to them for like 10 or 15 minutes or half an hour or 2 hours or whatever. And like, there's too much. So it's like this really intense crucible 2 or 3 day thing.
Oh, Jason. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. We were there. I got there on Wednesday. I left Sunday, and I spent half an hour in the model room.
Yeah, same. I barely saw anything, and it's like there were over 1,000 entries, and I sort of shut down. Like I was like, I can't. There's too many lights and beautiful. Like everything was beautiful and perfect.
Oh yeah.
Like
and there were young people there.
Yeah,
and there were women there.
There was like 3.
Well, that's 3 more than last year.
Yeah, it's the world's largest sausage fest.
It's guy centric, older gentlemen, like older, more corpulent gentlemen. Whatever. I've joked in the past. I'm like, half of you guys could like put on a little like conductor hat and be George R.R. Martin like lookalikes, but it's like I'm sort of transitioning to that in my old age, probably. No big deal. But like I've been threatening for years to bring my wife Lisa, and like there's this whole subset of guys that are like obsessed with her coming and roasting them because she has a really wicked sense of humor, and they're like, just please bring your wife, and I want her to be mean to me. And I'm like, all right.
She's just gonna have a booth. She's gonna have her own booth and be like,
a
quarter per insult.
And she'll make $300 or $400 a day. Yeah, exactly.
So real quick, I was just gonna say, so So coming in there and of course surprising the guys and just hanging out and then looking around, it was just kick ass, And Jason, they have these itineraries. So I mean, there's these strict, stressed out fucking schedules. You
I
got
was so fucking stressed the whole time.
I mean, poor Jason, dude. But I'm going to tell you what. So that the first night, we're not going to get into this long deal, but I just want to just tell you guys that everything was real casual and quiet, and there's about 25 of us that go and have this great dinner, at this really great place, and I'm Robin, that's been on the show. A lot of people are there, and obviously all elite model makers, and we're there, and we have this fantastic dinner, and then we go back to the hotel, and there's just a few of us that are going to go hang out with Jason in his suite. Yeah.
Oh, these are some of the
Yeah.
So these are some of the pictures that I took of just to show all of the. I mean, how many guys there were, and what a family
out
it
of
is.
control. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's transportation, all this shit. So that was the dinner thing. But guys, we get back to the hotel, and it's late. Everybody's tired. I know Jason's fucking exhausted, but
That's such
still,
I'm like,
still,
can we wrap this up? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what though? We're invited up to his suite. We go up to his suite, and we walk in there, and lo and behold, there's Lauren Peterson just sitting there on the couch hanging out with Jason. And it's like, what in the hell is it going? It was like I had to like look around. I see Joseph. Joseph goes and he's sitting down Indian style on the floor. And I mean, it was just like, holy shit. This is,
Weird.
I'm just telling you guys, I don't care what anybody says or believes, but I wouldn't have had a different reaction if it had been George Lucas. I mean, Lauren Peterson is like, holy shit. And what a cool ass dude. And I mean, and everyone was very professional, and Jason just hanging out and yakking and they're laughing back and forth. And I don't know if we can talk about certain things, right, Jason? But it was a really surreal moment,
Yeah, somebody always brings secrets, and then you share it with your friends, and it's like, nobody tell anybody, and it's like, all right, whatever. Like, I lose track of that stuff. I just don't like. I have this reputation for like being an asshole that withholds information, and I'm like, all I'm doing is respecting the wishes of my friends, guys.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Well, you weren't. I can tell you, there was no asshole this week. I mean, when we were there, I mean, inviting us up to. I mean, by the way, it's a big ass suite, so it was kind of weird. We went up to Jason's suite, but
The penthouse.
I paid $1,200 for that room.
Wow.
Well, that started with the COVID nonsense, where I was like, I want like a little area where we all feel safe, which is bullshit probably, but like like just the veneer of that or whatever. But it's kind of nice to have a little refuge, like away from like just the cacophony of everything, because there's so many people and there's so much noise. But then I'm like, oh, if my room's the hangout room, then I'm up as late as the last person that leaves. And I was like, that was a dumb idea, but here we are. And I've been doing
but you know what? The best parts of Wonderfest are those times up in your room at night. I mean, you should charge admission.
Yeah, we get really tired and we get kind of goofy, and like that's when people start telling the stories that you don't hear in the like the talks or the seminars, because they're either a little bawdy or they're just like not for public consumption, and you just sort of eat it up. Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
But what great stories just sitting in that room and just, I mean, talking about the McDonald's plate stuff. I never even knew it till you brought it up, and then he started talking about it, and it was just
Lauren sculpted, along with John Erland, all of the original McDonald Land character like sculptures,
the foam
that were then cast and molded in fiberglass. So if you're a kid from the 70s, like, and remember that life-size Mayor McCheese, that's the guys from Star Wars did that right before they were hired for Star Wars, like in 74.
That's funny.
And Lauren remembers really cool anecdotes, like the sesame seeds we used half almonds because it was like a nice scale. And like what's really great, in 2011 we picked him and his wife up from the airport to bring him to Jersey Fest, and my wife is in the front seat. I'm driving. They're in the back, and we're all making small talk. And he asked her a great question. He's like, "So Lisa, do you like Star Wars?" She's like, I saw it as a kid, whatever. Like, I know, like, Jason's really passionate about it, and I can appreciate that, and blah blah blah. And then, like, I don't remember if he said it or if I said it, but somebody said something about McDonald's, and her favorite thing is the apple turnover tree, the apple pie tree. And he's like, "Oh, I sculpted that." And then she was like me with Star Wars. She was like, "Oh my God, you're the best." Like, it was really great to have my wife geek out with Lauren Peterson about McDonald land sculpts the way I do about like X-Wing fighters. It was kind of cool. I was like, "See, he's awesome."
Yeah. Now, guys. I mean, obviously, you guys are saying it's growing, right? Because it's in a small town, right? Like it's in a very kind of secluded area now.
Well, yeah, it's in Louisville, Kentucky,
Oh, it's
which
in
is
Louisville. Okay.
yeah, that's a college town, I guess. The hotel's bizarre. It's
Oh
the
yeah.
Crown Executive West, I want to say. When I first went there a million years ago, it feels like, I call it the hotel that Trelane built. Trelane's that Q character from the original Star Trek series who lives in like a weird castle where they just decorated it with all the nonsense from the prop department. So it was like suits of armor and swords and a bunch of shit. And like this hotel had like a stained glass window, velvet curtains. You'd look outside and there'd be like a water wheel. Like it was like this weird, like, did you guys just like grab shit that was on sale at like Pier 1 and just throw it all together? It was very strange. And it's been rehabbed over the years, and I think they're in the middle of a redo now. So I'm a little melancholy, like, oh, that really shitty carpet that smells like BO and weed is gonna go away. But like, it's just Mike Salzo. One year, he and I synced up literally just by chance, coming into the parking lot at the same time, before we started carpooling every year, because we carpool now. And he got out of the car and I got out of the car. We looked at each other and it's like, this is like, I don't feel like I left. Like, this is like Hotel California weirdness. Like, this feels. I've been there so many times and so many friends are there that like stuff only happens in this one location, in this kind of like dumpy hotel, and we all have like such a fond affection for it. It's very strange. It's hard to articulate.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I was asking, do you see it kind of outgrowing that place?
I don't know. Maybe I feel like it's like on the edge. I mean, 1,000 entries in that little model room. That's stuff
crazy.
It's crammed into those tables. It's a good problem to have. And I feel like if they had to move to a different spot, it would like lose some of its like punk rock charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
This was a weird year though, because the ILMers were there.
I know.
Now I want Merrick Cheese signed by Lauren. We all do.
Right.
That's crazy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to show some of the pictures that Joseph sent, since you're on here, Joseph.
That way I can help identify some of it before
friend.
I have to jump off.
Let's show those before the models.
Okay.
Let me bring those up because these are really good pictures.
So that was the first night I was there. That's at Speakeasy in Louisville, where they had an amazing bar. And the guys that you see sitting there next to me is Lauren Oliver, who's a model maker, filmmaker. Next to him is Jonathan Ward, who's kind of a real space NASA historian. And then all the way on the far right of the picture is Bill Krause, who, for those Star Trek fans out there, is the guy who just designed the new Enterprise for Picard season 3, and is a fantastic, Star Wars concept designer and model maker. And for those of you who know my endurance that I have, that Michael, like the one Star Trek ship that Michael's in love with, Bill actually designed and built that for, I think, Wonderfest in 2017.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just an amazing group of people.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then, of course, this is at Feast, right?
Yeah.
Some great barbecue and bourbon slushies that we had there. And there's Mike and Jason. who you guys probably know, and then there's Brian and John Sabian, Brian Babich and John Sabian on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, John made the 6-foot blockade runner, which was
That's yeah.
Okay.
it was like the
I sent some pictures of that too, so you'll see. You guys will see that. And there's a big. I can't identify everyone in every picture, but yeah, big group of people.
I'm suffering from bad gastrointestinal distress or something.
I think
Jesus, you didn't warn me about that one.
Yeah.
I wanted to have one picture with Jason where he wasn't like making some kind of face or
Yeah,
something.
so did my
And I don't think
grandmother
I have
every
one.
Christmas.
Yeah.
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 Very
cool. And of course there's Salzo. I took that picture to send to Michael, and he's just like, he says this. He always has this look on his face. Like, why are you?
Yeah, he's the
picture?
most laid back, stands in the back. I mean, respectful, just such a great dude. Hey, did he get a word into Charlie or Lauren?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the one in the front with a lampshade on my head, and he's the one in the back. He's the smarter of the two. He keeps his shit together. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a great collaboration.
Yeah, and there's there's on the right in the front is Robin Moore, who Michael, you met him this time,
Yeah,
right?
nice
Yeah, he did that concept Slave One, and he did the concept Imperial Shuttle for this year.
Yep.
And then on the right of the picture is Chris. I'm not sure if it's Rife or Reef, but
it's
I think it's Rife.
Hey,
and Chris he works over at Hasbro. He does the design for the HasLab stuff for Star Wars. So amazing guy to talk to.
Yeah.
And then behind him is Quincy, who organizes all of these dinners.
Massive
and
amount
does
of work.
the big itinerary. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I just want to chime in. There's been a couple in the chat are mentioning how is Gordon. What's going on? I don't know anything about what.
Oh yeah, my cat.
Gordon the cat.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about Gordon Tarpley or what.
No, the important shit. Yeah, he. I found out today that my cat has cancer, so
Oh no!
Not be long for the world. He's my little boy, so from now on he gets lots of treats.
Oh man!
Yeah, hooray!
No.
Yeah, good times. You want Eaton's hairline? Brad wants my hair. You can have it.
I'd like that too.
Yeah. That's the strong Icelandic genes. Yeah, I can't grow a beard to save my life. It's real wispy, but the stuff up top's pretty good.
Yeah. These two.
This, of course, was the big surprise.
You handsome.
That was when I went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's Bill George.
Man, talk about. I mean, I get to the first day. We went to dinner, and I'm riding or to lunch actually. Awful place, by the way, Jason. But anyways,
what?
But just hanging out with him and driving in the car, he's just such a cool ass dude.
Yeah, he's done everything and seen everything, and he's just so chill about it all.
Yeah, he's so involved with everybody too. You know. Yeah.
There's dinner at I can't remember the name of that restaurant, but it was wonderful.
Proof on Main.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There's Michael with Mike and John.
Nice.
They had the burger with the bacon onion jam that everybody falls for. Yeah.
And then this is everyone from the dinner outside of the restaurant. We all posed for a big group photo. So just to give you an idea of the sheer number of people that we get to see and spend time with. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, the guy to the left of Mike, if you're not to Mike's right, but our left in the blue.
Oh, Adam Schneider.
Adam Schneider, yeah, he's the one who spearheaded the Galileo shuttle restoration and owns the Enterprise E and all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
badass!
He bought him at the Christie's auction.
Yeah. I restored something for him. He's a super nice dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me the story in the car, and I was blown away. It's crazy.
Oh, look at Norm. That's funny.
Yep.
That was a cool treat.
That was. That was his first Wonderfest, so it was really kind of shocking.
Yeah. It was a good one to pick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. me and Norm were talking, and I didn't even tell you, Gabe, I was showing him the medical frigate from last year. And all of a sudden I hear behind us, that's a piece of shit. And I look back, and it was Jim Krevling who made the frigate. So he surprised us. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? You didn't, because I was texting him, hey, are you going to Wonderfest this year?
Yeah.
But he was a ghost. I mean, Jason didn't.
I didn't see him at all. Like I was like,
Yeah, I didn't see him
what the
either.
fuck? Like, yeah, unbelievable. That's the magic and the agony of Wonderfest.
Yeah, he was zoned in on I'm just saying this out of all due respect, is just that freaking X-wing that Jason did.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Norm had his
I sent a
eyes on
picture of
that. They were videoing that
Yeah.
thing big time.
Cool.
You might be getting a call from Adam Savage for that thing.
It's sold. It's gone.
Oh, it's gone already.
It left the show with someone. Yeah. I was like, all right, bye. Aw.
Oh,
That's a cool picture.
this is like, this was an unbelievable picture to get. They were all standing there, and I took a picture of the group of them, and then somebody says, why don't you go stand with them and take a picture? So I kind of jumped into the middle there, and I was standing there like, I mean, I was on cloud nine. I mean, talk about being with the people of your childhood dreams. And I'm standing there, and then Bill George leans over and whispers in my ear, you know, everyone in the audience hates you right now.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, thanks, Bill. This is the memory I'm going to have of this picture forever.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
So-
and then someone,
I'm sorry,
and then
Joseph. Just
someone
tell everybody
mentioned to me, I
who that
realized,
is, so everybody
okay,
knows.
so on the left is Lauren Peterson, and then there's Charlie Bailey, who's next to me, then Bill George on the other side of me, and then Kirk Thatcher, who I think you guys all know. He's been on the show, and all former ILM.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible position to be in. I'm still speechless every time I look at it. I showed it to a friend, and they said, looks like you need to grow a beard. And then I realized that I'm the only one in that picture without a beard.
Hey, Joseph,
Jason, you needed to be in there.
you never sent me your plaques, the picture of your plaques. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got all those signed. It was yeah. I'll have to send
Joseph
some
and his
pictures so you can
plaques.
show next year.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it was
I tried my,
it was a chaotic
I tried my hardest
couple
not to
of weeks before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried my hardest not to sign them, but he cornered me.
Yeah.
I held him hostage in his hotel room until he signed.
Yeah, you showed up and I was like, "Damn you! You outsmarted me."
Hey,
Yeah, you got.
and I will
Mike and me
say
at the
that-
same time.
Jason, you did an outstanding job hosting that in that panel. So they did this really cool panel, and Lauren did talked a little bit about ILM and his role, as well as did some Q&A, and Jason just did a fantastic job. Just out of the blue,
I was asked less than 24 hours to they were like, "Hey, do you want to moderate this?" And I was like, okay. And they were like, "You know more about this shit than we do." And I was like, "Fair, I guess." Like, all right.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
I had there was literally no prep. They ran themselves. I feel like I had very little to do, which was like good.
Okay, Jason. So what's going on in your life, man? You got a couple weeks ago, Marsha Lucas giving you a big old smack on the lips, and then you're hanging out with Lauren and Charlie and George, and
Yeah.
Living the dream.
The next month is going to be pretty boring. I'm like,
it's like, all right.
The next week, this coming week, my wife is away for a whole week, and I've already ripped up some trim in the kitchen. I'm redoing some shoe molding, and I'm cleaning. My shop is a mess. There's 3 or 4 things I need to do for people, but before I can do that, like your Boba Fett jetpack weathering, before I can even do that, I gotta sort my paint so I can find stuff. So yeah, it's I had this amazing month, and the month I'm coming into is going to be very pedestrian.
Now there's no excuse now that I know that Lisa's gone, because often I'll call Jason or text him, and you'll be like, "Sorry, it's 7 p.m. It's TV time with Lisa. I can't talk.
It's lifetime." Yeah. Heads up, everybody. You can hit me up. You West Coasters. Yeah. And everybody calls me at 3 p.m. and I'm like, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 p.m. my time. And I'm like, I'm making dinner and we're gonna hang out. Like, this is sacred. Sorry, like hit me earlier. Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
Well, let
But
me.
anyway, Gabe, I think. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
No,
oh,
that's I was going to
you wanna
say
show- yeah, yeah,
because the models that were there this year were just
yeah.
spectacular, and the sheer number were
Hey,
just amazing. This is an incredible piece.
that was sent in the mail today to a certain somebody.
yeah. And ask Jason, will you talk a little bit about this piece?
Yeah. Okay. So every year, Bill George and I try to cook up like a cool um, participatory group build. Like one year we did Star Wars sketchbook stuff. The year that COVID like destroyed Wonderfest and it didn't happen, we were going to do like cell animation, like like animated models. And so this year we were going to do Death Star towers, and I've done the A New Hope tower. And the really small Jedi tower, and then there's a medium and a large. And I didn't have the medium and the large patterned or anything. I didn't have access to them, and so Bill's just like, "I got a buddy who kept two from the show. I'll just send them to you." So like these two screen used Death Star towers show up at my house, like normal people.
Like no.
Like what the hell? And like so I didn't have to do a thing. I just basically studied them and just repatterned them so they're exact. And then we were like, okay, anybody that wants to participate is welcome to. I'm gonna have Mike mold and cast them. They're not kits, they're not for sale. Sorry, everybody. This was just for like this group thing, and I do a couple builds for collectors or whatever. So if somebody wants a built one, hit me up. But that's a side point. And so people just bought castings from Mike and made towers, and some people made like faithful Jedi towers. I sort of was goaded people. I was like, hey, maybe make something cool and weird. And I had asked Tom Spino, would you make one? And he's like, oh yeah, can I make a monster one? And I was like, ha ha ha, no one's gonna make a monster one. And this is what he came up with.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Badass.
So good. Yeah.
Oh no, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, because I know Michael, you sent me a video of all
the
the
towers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think it was one of the first videos I sent you.
that's what I'm trying to find here.
Yeah, I feel like Tom's team, Tom has the balls to like push the envelope. Like, not everybody is gonna rip that casting apart.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's go through the pictures first, and then I'll look for the video really quick. I think.
Do we lose Joseph to his 9 to 5?
Oh, yeah, he probably had some.
Oh,
No,
there he is.
I'm back.
emergency.
I have to read a case quickly. So
Oh, here it is.
you know what? I have
They're
to
not
say,
going to make it.
it's just it's my
It's just
I
the
have
light
to
bulb
say
in the rectum, whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
This has been, you guys are a really good luck for me, I guess, because this is the first time all week that I've had more than 30 seconds without a case. So this is really a treat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Your pager hasn't been going off. You guys still use
But
pager?
I don't wear a pager, but now they just call my cell phone.
Pager.
Oh, doctors don't use pagers anymore. Oh,
What they still do at the hospital, but I'm not
do
there
they?
anymore. Yeah. So this is this is in the contest room. So all the pictures I sent you, aside from Jason's special table where Jason and all of the good friends get to display their
That's where all the
pieces,
cool shit is. Just being
where all the
honest.
cool shit is. This
Yeah,
is
those are-
these are the models that are for the contest. So this is, I believe this is a perfect grade Falcon from Bandai.
Yeah.
And by the way, we got to meet Jason's friend Hiroshi this year, who came from Tokyo, who
Nice.
works at Bandai, and that was amazing.
He did the
being able
perfect
to
grade
meet him.
Falcon.
Yeah,
That
that's
guy.
just-
My favorite thing about Hiroshi this past weekend, he he shows up. We've got this 6-foot blockade around John's room. No one's seen it yet. It's just sitting in dominating his room. And he walks over, and it didn't quite happen this way, but it might as well have. He basically is like, that part's wrong. Like, John just was like, there are 8 people in the world who would know what part is wrong, and 2 of them are in my room right now. And it was like this really super minor thing where it was like these 2 little parts that he had transposed or whatever. But Hiroshi was immediately like, hey, just a heads up, you messed up right there. Like, he sees 6 feet of model, and he's like, nope.
And just so you guys, to the viewers, that's like suicidal shit for these guys like Jason. You know?
Oh yeah, John was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to live. He's like,
Yeah, and
he worked on
and
this
the
thing for 5 years, and he's like, I'm gonna walk into the sea. I'm done. Yeah,
Everyone's
You know,
gonna laugh at me.
it's crazy. Hiroshi built a 1/3 scale replica of the Falcon and the filming, like at ILM, like where they built and filmed.
he
Wow.
And
one-third
he
scale
showed,
with a nice model shop.
yeah,
Like,
and then he showed the pictures to Lauren Peterson, and Lauren was just like, I mean, he was just blown away, and I thought Hiroshi was going to cry, and then they like
Yeah.
hugged, and I wanted to cry. It was an unbelievable scene to see that.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is a 1/12 scale
Yeah.
X-wing. I mean, it's huge, and I wish I had sent you the video of it, Gabe.
Yeah, the lights come on every once in a while. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Michael,
And that
You sent maybe? No.
you want me to send it to you? I can try and send it to you now.
Yeah, you
it's
can send
it's
it.
amazing because the pilot's head turns, and
What?
and the R2 turns, and there's like, let me see if I can send it to you. Hold on 1 second.
Michael, I'm surprised you weren't all on that.
This one, well, I've got one right now being made at 6 scale, so I'm pretty pumped about
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
I have a 12 scale one in the works. 6 scale. That's
Wow.
dedication, man.
it. It's going to be a swamp version,
Wow.
Jason.
Wow.
Crashed in the swamp.
That's cool.
Look at that. I just noticed right there that's a life size Maria, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's gonna mold and cast that apparently. I was
Do
like,
you know him, Jason?
yeah, I was like, I'm probably gonna need one of those. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it or where I'm gonna put it, but
So
need
I met him briefly. Do you have his contact?
yeah, I'll hook you up. You want one?
Yeah, because what I want, we talked about, it was when we were closing up that Saturday night, everything that was being closed. We went back over there. I saw that, but he does like the black hole.
Maximilian?
No, he said that he's working on that because I told him that's what I want. But the other one,
Vincent.
Vincent, he said that he's done a couple of those and he could do that. So
Give me a hammer, I can turn Vincent into old Bob.
exactly.
Jeez. Look at that. The R2, like the lights turning dome.
Yeah, when you've got something that big, you can do some like pretty wacky stuff with it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Man. All right, let me go back here. Sorry, guys.
Is that Obi-Wan behind you?
It is.
A
Yeah.
decapitated.
For
thing.
a second, I thought it was Rick Baker, but I think my eyes are just tired.
Hey, somebody else had said that. I forgot who they said. It looks like.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, look up close.
And the alien, is that Close Encounters alien?
That's Close Encounters.
Yeah, right on. Oh yeah, okay. Up close, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's weird trying to get his eyes to stare.
Do you?
It's
I
like,
was gonna say, do you ever like come downstairs or get a glass of water at night and scare the shit out of yourself?
No, the wife, she cannot wait to get all these out of here.
That's hilarious.
This is the EVA pod from 2001, and that's from the
badass.
kit that was done by Mobius. It's really amazing.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite models there.
I just got a set of the video screens, functional video screens for inside that model.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
Did you get? I'm trying to remember who makes those.
Well, there's a company in Australia where you can buy the screens, and then there's a guy who puts together a like modification kit for the cockpit, so you can install those screens.
I can't believe that in the year 2023 we have a styrene version of that. Like it's just bonkers.
I know.
Like,
and that's a half studio scale Star Destroyer, which I thought was Randy Cooper's, but I overheard the guy saying it was scratch built.
It's a scratch build. Yeah, I think that's Lee.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That thing, that blew my mind, that piece. And I had a bunch of other pictures of it where you can see the Tantive 4 down in the bay. This is one of the new. I think this is the new Revell, like 1/48 scale.
That's enormous.
Yeah, it's huge. They just put out that kit recently, and it's really nice.
I might have to get that. I really love the 71 SR71.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's huge.
That always just reminds me of GI Joe, right? Like the
yeah, or like some sort of like evil Sith Naboo ship or something like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Clint Eastwood movie. What was that called?
Firefox.
Firefox.
Yeah. Grant McCune, Apogee did Firefox.
This is a 1/350 scale Klingon. I think this is this the Kronos version? Oh, this is the Kronos one.
Yeah, I don't want to piss off the Klingon fans. It's either a Katinga or a Kronos one. But...
I think this might be the Katinga. The Kronos one is a gray and red, and
it also has a lot more like filigree on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I know Star Trek or anything.
Don't be ashamed. You're in a safe space here.
I'm gonna build a Star Trek model for next year and really mess with everything.
Are you?
I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
I had joked that I wanted to. I mean, I want to build a medical ship. I know Bill had made the ball headed.
Yeah. The Pasteur
for next gen, and I wanted to make a TOS version and call it the USS Fauci and just piss off a bunch of people. But
that's a 1/350 scale original series Enterprise. That one was pretty amazing because even the bridge. You could look in and you could see the bridge, the detailing, all the view screens. Everything was like backlit. It was crazy.
A little cage.
Yeah, you can't see it in that picture, but
come in and see it. Yeah. The Trek guys they're just as like they've finessed their craft just as much as the Star Trek guys. It's just unbelievable.
And we've talked about this. The thing about that. So this is Bill Krause's piece, which is just mind-blowing. This is the new Enterprise, the G, that makes its debut in season 3 of Picard.
Oh, wow.
And
he designed that, you said?
Bill designed that, and it's just his work is just, I mean, it's flawless. And that's the thing about Trek models.
That's awful.
Is that
it's like
there's
so
stressful. It's so stressful. There's no room. There's
nowhere
no
to hide.
hiding your mistakes. Exactly.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide. It's like the car modelers who have to like polish their. I mean, like if I mess up, I'm like, guess where the blast mark's going? You know, like it's very
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Who's the more critical crowd? You think the Trekkies are a little more critical when it comes to these models?
Both crowds are just as miserable and brutal.
For
different reasons. Yeah, I mean, like there are people that saw my X-wing and they're like, it's too bright, it's too white. And I'm like, all right, like that's like your opinion, man. You know, like I know Red One looked like that, and one day I will be proven right. That's fine. I mean,
I love your X-wings. I love the way they. I think that color scheme is.
Yeah, there's this trend with Star Wars stuff for everybody to paint their stuff to look like it looks now. You know. After 47 years of like UV light and pot smoke and dust, like just dulling the shit down. And like Bill has said, people have to know that like this model was on stage with hot lights, and then we needed to like knock down the sheen and we'd hit it with dull coat and that shit yellows, and we did it like multiple times. So like, you know, it's all subjective.
Yeah.
Like the Trek stuff, I'm sure it's all subjective with those guys too.
So this one is another piece that Bill Krause brought. This is his original design. So he created this, scratch built it. And
is this
new? This is new. This is the Excalibur. He just designed this. And the crazy thing is, again, this is like scratch built. You know? I mean, making all these contoured lines. He's not 3D print. He's 3D printing some of it.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, are these, because obviously like the Star Wars ships and stuff, you know, we know a lot of parts come from kits. I'm sure Star Trek stuff too, but is this just styrene that they're, I mean, I know, Jason, you just said it's 3D printed.
I think some of it's printed. Like I printed a whole bunch of stuff for one of his models a couple of years ago.
That's the one I have.
Yeah.
The Endurance. And you 3D printed the
cells
and
like
stuff.
all the inserts and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing for saucers and stuff. I love, this is the Excalibur. I love he's got this like weird sort of like fractal honeycomb like shape inside the nacelles that are rotating.
Right.
It's
That's
like
what you. That's what you design. I think that's what you printed for, because I have the same in mine,
okay.
and he told me that you had made those parts for him.
Yeah, I love that effect.
Yeah.
That's such a
Oh,
cool,
it's amazing.
and they
So this
rotate. Yeah.
and this just his finish work is just mind blowing. I'm going to meet up. I'm going to meet Terry Metalis next week, who's the showrunner for Picard season 3. And that model that you just showed, the Enterprise G, is going to him, I believe.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I told him, I'm like, well, I'm going to see Terry next weekend, so I'm going to totally be like, you're going to keep Bill on for all of your future Star Trek projects, right? Because his design aesthetic is, it's I love
he's got that on a lot. Design. Yeah.
Is this honey?
I mean,
is that what
yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Bill's design aesthetic is, I think, almost better than some of the stuff that you see, on the shows.
That thing in the nacelles almost has like a 70s like
Mm-hmm.
black hole silent running vibe to it, which is just classic sci-fi, that it just sort of brings it all together in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
This is a D'Agostini Falcon. It's pretty big. Yeah, and they had it all open with the panels, so you could see everything inside. It's pretty crazy.
That's a crazy model.
Jetpack.
And someone had a Ghostbusters proton pack there, and then of course Rhett Martin. That's not mine. Rhett. Oh. No, that one was one on display, but mine just basically looks the same.
Yeah.
But the one that Rhett brought for me had all of the bells and whistles in it. The electronics that he did were just amazing.
Is it the Anovos one that you had done?
Yeah. So I had been looking for someone to build out that pack, and Rhett Martin is like the go-to guy for that kind of stuff because he's well familiar with these proton packs. That's all he does. And so I sent him my Anovos kit, and then he updated all the parts, accurized everything, put on like metal stickers, and then got these this electronics pack to put in it, and it's just spectacular. So he brought it for me to see because he's like a 3-hour drive from Wonderfest. Nice. And he brought it, I tried it out, and then he took it back with him. I'm so excited. He did a beautiful job on it.
Nice.
And there's the big boy. That's John's big blockade runner.
5 years of his life.
Did it take you that long?
Yeah, about like from start to finish. I mean, he's got a wife and 2 kids and a job, so he's time was always at a premium, and he's a good man, so he's not ignoring anybody in his family. So like the last couple months were definite like hard push. Like my wife joked yesterday, he was on Tested, and we were watching it, and he said, it took me 5 years. And she said to me, she goes, I thought he finished that like in the last 3 weeks, because there was just like this like intense thing. So I texted that to him. I was like, Lisa said you finished that in 3 weeks. And he's like, like, it's a joke, man. Yeah.
There's Robin with his
so good
concept Imperial shuttle. That looks incredible. I love how the head
is the probe droid. Is that the like probe droid escape pod? Like the
yes.
Droid pod?
Yeah, that is actually. Yeah.
They always have the cylinders like that?
Okay, so that ship is one of the more mysterious fleet ships, we call them, from Empire. There are fleet ships in Jedi too. But that one, there's no real good photos of whatever crap they had bashed together. There's like blurry screen caps. The model may exist somewhere still. It may not. A picture may surface one day or not. But that is a pretty good best guess at what it looks like. We're pretty sure the probe droid pod, for whatever reason, was a part of it. Yeah, I don't know. But
he made that too.
That's a cool model. And then the one with the little smiling face, the Imperial shuttle concept model, he made that in 2019, and it had stubbier wings, and he was unhappy with the wings, and so he remade all 3 wings for the show. And I gotta say, like, it really, like, really set it off. Like, I think that was a great idea. He's really good.
So, guys, I'm sorry, Jason. These are all the rest of the pictures, I think, are from models at your table. You'll be able to fill everyone in.
Are you passing the conch to me?
Yeah, not like I could ever hold it.
Yeah.
But hey, I have to run. It's getting busy, so I'm gonna have to jump off. But this was a real treat to be able to spend this time with you guys.
Yeah, good seeing you, Jason.
So it's great to see you too. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Save some lives.
I'll try.
Okay, make some money.
My Nisos tells me save some lives or take some, whatever.
I'm gonna say make some money.
There you go.
Yeah, that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
See you later, buddy.
Bye.
So I was zooming in just really quick. I saw those are the energy things from the Endor bunker, right?
Yeah, the like shield generators. Yeah,
shield generators.
Yeah, those are
badass.
This is kind of trippy. They light up. I guess this picture was taken before Bill walked over and flipped the switches. Bill George made both of those models for Blade Runner back in '81, and he remade them recently. So it was. I had asked him. I was like, "Is it kind of like trippy to revisit something you'd made so long ago?" And he was like, "It was really bizarre, but like it's just so cool that he revisited something he had created like 40 years ago now." And our friends Craig and Ed, they're like just ace ideas. They were like, these are the parts she used, because he's like, I don't remember what I pulled from, but they were able to like help him, like tell him what model kits he needed to buy to
do it.
Where are the originals?
I think that's a good question. Probably in private collectors' hands. I don't know. Maybe at the Warner. They're either with Warner or they're with private people.
I love the Ferrari.
And one of them's an Alfa Romeo, which is pretty wild. And that's Kevin Hoppert. He started this like a million years ago, and just sort of set it aside. And then the Jedi 40th was coming. He's like, what a great opportunity to literally dust it off and sort of flesh it out. That's like 4 feet across. It's bonkers huge.
Yeah, he did a really good job on that.
So beautiful. And that's all hand done. That's like, there's no 3D printing there, I don't think.
Yeah. I love seeing the scratch. And this guy reached out early in when Collection Wars started, and he found my Star Killer channel, and we became friends a long time ago. And this was the first time I was able to meet him in person.
Yeah.
The guy's got a serious collection of model kits, right, Jason?
I think he's got one of everything.
Everything, yeah.
He's like, a lot of people will buy something, and then when a better version comes out, they flip it. He has kept everything. He's like an archivist with that.
Yeah, he is.
Mind bending. Yeah, it's really cool.
He also has the Steve Perry Tauntaun and the Han Solo one too.
Wow. I think I remember you telling me about him, Michael.
Oh, I want him. I want those.
Yeah. There's that damn thing. Yeah.
Here's your off-white X-wing.
Yeah. Dude, it looks like that's what it looked like in 1976.
Yeah.
People can fight me. I will win. It's very weird. That's the brightest of all of them, I think. And every single, I was lucky enough. My life is weird, but sometimes like reference will come into my lap, and I was able to like nail every marking, every soot mark, every blast mark. That thing is probably the most accurate X-Wing I've ever made, which is odd because Red One has been my white whale. There were like 3 photos or maybe 5 photos in circulation for over 20 years, and none of them showed the bottom. And then like suddenly I get all these pictures of the bottom, and I'm like, holy shit, like this is my baby. And I was like, all right, I got to make this. So starting in November, that was like my, hell bent on doing it.
It was cool watching it getting built.
Yeah. Zoom in on the pilot. This is the only X-Wing where the hose connects to the mask. You can kind of see it. There's like that little white thing, and then it right. Yeah, I don't know if this was like whoever modeled it did that and then was like, what a pain in the ass. But like that's the only instance of that particular like hose extending like it does in the Joe Johnson artwork, which is, I find that stuff endlessly fascinating. And that droid, half the pictures show that droid, half the pictures show the one with the red dome. They were not concerned with continuity, so everybody, it was like a musical chairs with the droids. So
Yeah.
I'm really there's the last couple ones I've made. I made a Red 5 last year, and this one, like, I'm stoked. Like these are good.
Do you know
did
Lauren get to see this one, Jason?
Yeah. He saw it. I brought it to the Return of the Jedi 40th crew reunion that I was weird.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So like that, all the guys that worked on the show got to see it, and Joe and Charlie saw it. He's like, I don't think it's dark enough, and I was like, shut up, Charlie. Come on, man. But he started on Empire, so he's remembering them being darker anyway. Because I think
he don't know what he's talking about.
I think they were modified. No, he just, like they did modify them, so he's not wrong. That's the confusing thing with all this stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that one.
That was cool.
Yeah. No, great job on that one. And this one too. I was watching your progress on it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm really happy. My wife really likes this one, so you're gonna have to fight her, Mike. And that's my actual brain. I used to work for the NIH, and I've told this story like a billion times, so I apologize if everybody's already heard it. But like, I was working one day, and a guy came in from downstairs where there's an MRI suite, and he was like, "Hey, you're the 3D guy, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "I have a file for a brain. Can you print it?" And I said, "Sure." And then out of curiosity, I asked him, like, "Where'd you get the file?" And he said, "Oh, funny enough, it's my brain." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "I figured out how to take the MRI data and make it watertight and print like my brain." And I was like, "Holy shit." And I said, "Could you do my brain?" And he's like, "Well, when could I get my print?" And I said, "Well, I could take it home and print it at home for free on my gear and print it in clear." And he's like, "I think the MRI might need to be calibrated next week." So I was like, "We have a deal." And so like I printed his brain in clear. It was cost me like 40 or 50 bucks, whatever. I didn't give a shit. And then like, this is how important it was, Mike. Like, I got a phone call right as I was about to leave for lunch, and he's like, "Are you free?" And I was like, "I'll eat tomorrow." It's like I ran downstairs and I stuck my head in the MRI, and it was like duck, 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 duck for like 5 minutes. And then the next day I had my brain as a file.
Cool.
And I thought, all right, there's two things I can make with this off the top of my head. The weird like brain in the tank from City of the Lost Children, or a Bomar monk. And I was like, well, I'm going to make the Bomar monk first. So literally that's why I started making this thing. So dumb. But then I got really into it, and I'm like, this is like creepy Tim Burton meets Star Wars. I added like all of the like, I call it like Scooby-Dooifying the thing. Like it's like the ghost was like scaring everybody. The netting, like it's like all rotting and stuff. Yeah. Actually, as a quick aside, because I have this water glass here, as like an old party trick, my friends and I would do. This is every monster from every Scooby-Doo show. Are you ready?
Yeah, go. True.
Right? I mean, it was like that, like weird, like sort of doppely.
That's
sound.
crazy.
I'm just tired enough that I'm doing dumb shit.
It's not as good as Gabe's Mickey Mouse.
Oh
no! Wait! I got one for you. Like yoink, Scoob. Like yoinks.
I was driving my 10-year-old or 9-year-old at the time nephew around, and he was asking me about if I'd ever seen Rick and Morty. And I started doing like a little Morty voice for him, and he was like blown away. And I don't think I do a very good Morty, but like he liked it. So then I started like cursing like a sailor as Morty, saying his name, and he was just like, ha ha ha. And I was like, I'm the best uncle in the world. Like, driving him around. Yeah,
That's fun.
easy audience. But yeah, so the Bomar Monk was
Oh,
super duper fun and way
no,
bigger than I intended it to be.
no, I when we have a little video clip, let me get that going.
Yeah, I think Mike wants it, so it'll probably end up in his pizza place at some point.
Right?
Like everything
Yeah.
I make, I'm like, it's just gonna end up in his hands. I should just like send it to him already.
Yeah, this thing's cool.
Yeah.
Even the base looks really good up close.
That base is a one-day wonder, man. I was like,
You can't tell, but when you're there though, it's just a whole other level of the details in the arms and or
Yeah.
the legs. That is.
there's a lot to discover on that thing, and the lighting in these places is always so kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Like there's blues and greens, and there's rust. There's a couple areas where I made it look like oil was dripping from like a bad seal, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
the
hard
one
to
that
see it.
Joseph took is pretty good. Like you could kind of see like
Yeah,
some of it, like you could see like the rust.
Yeah, next this coming week I'm gonna update my website finally, and I'll have better pictures. I took a bunch of pictures.
Do you know who made that, or the original one, or did you even see it in the archives or anything, or no?
Oh, I don't think it exists anymore. I think the original was a total piece of shit. It's like
Gotcha.
like a bunch of car parts and PVC pipe.
Gotcha.
Like there's very little reference, and in fact, there was a maquette made, and no one knows where that went. Like that doesn't exist in the archives anymore.
Yeah,
Not
that's
even
what.
photos, huh?
Yeah, Tom was because somebody was asking. I think it was Sean was asking, like because he found a picture of it, and Tom was like, "Yeah, no, that's not in the archives anymore."
Yeah. Which, if something is mysterious, I'm like, it's catnip to me. I'm like, oh, I gotta figure it out, man. Or it gives you like the space to riff on it. Like, there's the Return of the Jedi version. There's the Phil Tippett animated, stop motion puppet, and then the one I made. Like, I made a bunch of shit up online.
So the one that you see like in the Jabba's palace when Luke's coming out, that's a stop motion, or is that you think that's like the
No, that's like when 3PO comes in, he's like, ah! And it like kind of like travels a little bit. No, that's a live thing, and you can kind of tell it's real clunky. Like I feel like there was somebody behind it going like,
yeah,
real janky. And then the Book of Boba Fett one was all stop motion, which is
Jason, did you see this box?
No, I don't
Watch,
think I
check
did.
this out. Watch.
Did I miss something cool? Oh Christ, that's awesome. That was in the contest room.
Yeah.
Man, see, there's so much to take in, you miss it.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things in that whole thing.
Yeah, Bill talked about that. He said I think he's the one that put the red light in the model for the Jedi scene, just to give it sort of like a little bit of menace.
Yeah, which one did that?
I think Bill did.
Really? Yeah. That's right. I heard that too.
Yeah. That's a D'Agostini one? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is video I took. I didn't take
It's overwhelming the amount of talent on display there. Like, you need like a couple of extra days to really soak it all in.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, if anybody ever, even if you're not a model builder, I feel like it's really inspiring. Like so I've never been to a Comic-Con, I've never been to a celebration, and I just keep going to Wonderfest because I'm a model guy. But like, from the people that like Joseph who have gone to those and then have gone to Wonderfest, they're like totally different animal, totally different like vibe and experience. I think it's probably a little more intimate. I think there's a hell of a lot less waiting in line.
Yeah.
Like, good God.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a different scene. It's kind of crazy.
That's pretty good video, right, Gabe?
Oh yeah.
It kind of gives you an idea real quick on some of the different things.
And there's like a lot of like look at that stuff. There's a lot of like real, like unique scratchability creative.
Look at that with the blue, the Godzilla. Isn't that cool?
It's so rad. The Godzillas are always like really amazing.
Did you see that back corner, Jason, where the King Kong? It was badass.
Yeah.
And then there's Space 1999, those real big ones.
Oh, well, look at what we
Right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's right. I videoed that.
Thank you for that, Michael.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Jason,
and
there's this thing because I can't Spaceballs. I won't watch it. So.
And that's a
Yeah.
Ferengi.
Yeah, that's badass, right?
Michael refuses to watch Spaceballs, even to this day.
Huh. That's I think that's Jay's stuff. He likes to make the weird off the wall commercial.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
70s commercial stuff.
Aren't those badass, those little tanks?
And that from History of the World Part 1, holy shit.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I don't know who made that. Like whoever made that is like one of my heroes. That's such a great
Isn't that cool? Look at that, Jason.
on the Ajax, yeah.
Dude, I love that thing.
That's awesome.
Can you buy that model, Jason?
Probably I don't know.
Dude, I'd love to have that.
I'm sure someone will chime in. Tumbling.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice the half models there.
Yeah.
Gives me some ideas.
So wild. It's like inspiring and humbling every time I go. Like I'm
See,
like,
I want one of those. That's the ship, the ID4 alien ship. Oh man, I want one of those. Those are so cool.
It's so funny. Like you can think like I'm getting pretty good at model making, and then you go to a show like this, and you're like, God, I just have so much to learn, which is I find really gratifying because it's like I'd hate to like, oh, that's from Space Academy. That's rad. I'd hate to like think that I had no room to grow, and like so I feel really inspired when I go to a show like this, and I see the everybody.
Millennium Falcon there.
Yeah.
Or no, I know the Countwell, right? The Falcon with that one.
That's it. I think that's kind of a riff on a Joe Johnson sketch. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
Maybe. I'm just tired enough to start messing up.
That's funny.
So, are you not seeing Spaceballs out of like just stubbornness?
Yeah, I just never. When I was a kid, I thought it wasn't funny that you mess with something like that. You know what I mean? I was like, I was such a diehard Star Wars fan that it's not something you do is make fun of Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a guy I used to work with that had never seen Smokey and the Bandit, and anytime mentioned it, he was like, "That's another month." Like he'd add a month to not seeing it.
Seeing it.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually ever saw it.
Yeah, I can tell you word for word in part 1 or 2 of Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah,
you some bitch. I know that whole script by heart.
Yeah.
What is this, Jason? Do you know what this is? I videoed it, but I don't know what it is.
I think it's a scratch build. I loved it. I think like the presentation was genius. Having it on an easel in a frame, but
That
having
was
the
really
frame
cool,
have that, like super foreshortened, like it just created this weird sense of tension for me.
And this was my favorite diorama all of it.
That's pretty rad.
Did you see this one, Jason?
Yeah. Little Dykstra flex.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You got some pretty good video, huh, Gabe?
Yeah. Yeah, you did a good job.
Thanks, bud. This was for Jason right there.
Hello.
Very cool. And especially, I mean, you love dioramas, so
I do. I love them.
And then this is Jason, which we saw already, but let's take a look again.
Yeah, I had to get video of all these.
What's up with that little baby by your, or what is that little teddy bear?
Yeah, that's weird.
There was a fella, I know who it is, but I've been sworn to secrecy. But he bought a huge bag of those little king babies. He didn't know what they were, which is pretty funny. Because they go in the king cakes, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was just leaving them random places, which I thought was really fun. I love any sort of like guerrilla art installation shit. I'm a fan. Yeah.
I love seeing the towers being built.
Oh, yeah, here's the.
Yeah, so these are all the towers that everybody did. Great stuff. Yeah. Very cool. There's a question, what do I have in the works? Cleaning my shop. At the moment, that's all I can think about. And that's so Brian Babbage made that Shield bunker vignette box and shipped it, and it was completely destroyed by FedEx, like trash. Like I looked at it and I was like, I'm so sorry, there's no way you can salvage that. And holy shit, he salvaged it. He pulled that thing out of the fire. I don't know.
Poor guy. I heard it was a pretty bad deal.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
I heard he's like in tears almost. Is that bad? Huh?
I was in tears for him. I mean, like it's happened to me. Like it's not a cool feeling. You pour your heart and soul into something, especially when somebody's, purchased it. You know, you're like, here's your, pile of shit. Sorry about your luck. Like it's just awful. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, the X-Wing went in a Pelican case, and the guy that bought it checked it at the airport, and I had such nervous stomach.
Panic.
Yeah, and the next day I was like, "Hey, did it make it?" And he's like, "I got home late. I haven't checked." And I'm like, "Oh Christ, open the box." And then I got the thumbs up a couple hours later, and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And I was like, "Cool."
Yeah, I can't wait to have that. I was really proud to have that. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, man. That's wild.
Yeah.
Do they have any Jaws related models?
Nothing. I didn't see anything this year.
Years past, I have an orca that I picked up at Wonderfest that someone built years ago. It's
I love that. I was there. That was the year I was there.
Yeah, you wanted to buy it, and I was like, "Ha ha! Sorry."
Yeah, that thing's badass.
Yeah.
Hey, did you put it in a shadow box or is that a shelf? I couldn't tell.
It's a shelf that I printed. Wow, that looks kind of sultry. Just printed on foam core. Just some sort of. I found a photo of the the ocean at sunset that looked vaguely, Narragansett looking or whatever.
Yeah, I love that one. I just got the worker that they made was badass.
Yeah, and everybody needs a Jaws barrel in their life.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm on a whole other level in the last year, seriously, with Jaws.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it just on a whole other level now.
I can't stop talking about how cool my wife is, apparently. But every year, first snowfall, we watch The Thing. 4th of July, we watch Jaws. And just recently, we have these weird little rituals. At some point in the summer, we'll watch Big Trouble in Little China. There's no date specified with it, but literally 4th of July. She's like, "You know what's coming up, don't you?" And I was like, "Jaws, baby!" We both love it. So
That's so cool.
We'll order a pizza and watch Jaws or something.
Badass.
I love it. I could watch that movie every day, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, man, that looked awesome. And again, with the food, right? Too, Jason. I know you're all about the food. That's why I was a little nervous about Michael. I was nervous about Michael because I was like, wait a second,
Mike
Michael,
Salzo.
we're gonna go to Ethiopian Ecuadorian, and you're like, is it steak? I'll eat a steak.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's so bless his heart, Salzo. He knows I'm pretty anal about the food.
Yeah.
And he just gets so concerned and worried about me. And it's just.
Mike and I are like the den mothers of a lot of.
Y'all are just so cool.
Is everybody okay? Is everybody having their needs met? It's I just want everybody to have a good time and I'm like,
no, I'm good. I'll go back to my hotel and catch a deal to Subway. I'm good, but
yeah. Lisa had texted me and she's like, "How's it going?" And I was like, "We're trying to rank." It was right around dinner time. I'm like, "There's 20 guys, all with different varying levels of ADHD and autism. How do you think?"
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm right there with it. But we're all nuts and we're all tired and we all have very specific needs and wants. And it's trying to get everybody together is totally herding cats. It's there were a couple times I was like, "Everybody, cars." And we have a pretty good system where it's 3 people will say, "I have a car," and then it's I can seat 5, and then 4 more people will glom onto them, and it's it kind of works.
It worked, but God, so it's crazy, right?
Pain in the ass, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
think the only shit part about it all is just just going to make sure everybody's good and
You have to rent one of those like party buses or like those like Mercedes vans, like the
I feel it's gotten out of control. Well, like you went to Feast with Mike, right? That like
Yes.
we went to Guacamole across the street.
Yeah, y'all were across the street.
Yeah, which was great. Did you like what you had? Did you get like brisket tacos or something?
I got the pulled pork sandwich, beans. My favorite thing was out of all of it was the fried pickles.
Holy shit. Brian Babbage and I ate almost an entire basket of fried pickles by ourselves.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was like, I gotta drink water because my legs are gonna balloon up from all this salt if I'm not careful. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
We were just both like compulsively like meow, meow, meow.
Let me just tell you though, that's what I was telling you the other day on the phone, Jason, that just wait till you get here. I'm going to show you some barbecue, bro.
I love it. Like I'm doing, Gabe. I'm doing like this little weird psychology experiment with Mike and Brian because they're both like very proud of their cuisine. And Brian's in Phoenix, Mike's in Texas. And I'm like, I don't know. I hear like Phoenix had pretty good tacos. And Mike's like, motherfucker, I'm gonna show you.
Fuck that, dude. That's shitty.
And I'm like, I get it all.
Gabe too. I tried to.
We talk about that because like we're right at the border. Right, we're in San Diego. Border's right here, and we're like, see, we don't call it Tex-Mex. We just call it food because all the Mexicans live here. Like that's
yeah.
Brian took me to a place called La Santisma, and they had like I can't quite articulate and describe how good the tacos were because they were one of the best tacos I've ever had in my life. But they have a salsa bar, which I'm a sucker for a good shtick. And it was just like this, like it looked like a salad bar with like little, warming trays or whatever, but it was different salsas. And they have a 7 chili salsa that they smoke in a drum out back.
Yeah,
that's like indescribably good. It's real hot. It's real smoky. It's like got like layers and it does different shit over time. And so just that with the chips, I was like, if this is all I have, I'm over the moon. And then they had a strawberry salsa, and I was like, what? This is amazing. Yeah, the strawberry.
My favorite, and a lot of people like, when it starts getting into like real like tacos and like the type of meat, there's this specific type of meat that's it's more like southern Mexico, right? It's like from the like Yucatan Peninsula down there. It's called cochinita pibil, and it's it's pork, right? No, check this out. No, Jason's gonna appreciate this. So it's like pork.
I had the pibil.
Yeah, pibil. Yeah, and it's marinated.
I had one of those tacos that like, yeah.
It's marinated. It's called achiote, and it's like a very specific type of paste that like and then they put like purple onions on it, and it's like, that's like my favorite type of.
Yeah, there's little things. There's little things that have drafted into my fridge, like ají amarillo paste, like that. Like I put that into a lot of stuff now. That like doesn't belong in that cuisine, but it's like just this like sultry little note. There's some Guatemalan stuff that I use now. Like just the smoky like it's all out of my head at the moment. Annatto seed, like have you ever? It's like the red seed, like just putting that in olive oil and like roasting it and then drizzling that over like a spatchcock chicken on the grill. Holy shit, that's good with like some lime juice. Like, how is this so good? Yeah. And Mike's like, I'm just gonna go to Subway and get a sub, dude.
Yeah, screw that shit. And Armando's just trying to piss me off.
Yeah.
Models and taco.
Yeah.
I can talk about that stuff forever. Yeah.
That's funny. But cool. Robert Rodriguez featured pork. Pibil, yeah. Oh, very cool. I didn't realize that. That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, guys. Well, I mean, what else? So what was the highlight though? I know obviously the people. Michael, what was like your kind of like favorite thing from Wonderfest?
Hands down, obviously running into, Jason and Mike and Joseph, seeing them, but absolutely the Friday night in Jason's suite.
It was a cool night, and it just happened organically. Like it was just like, all right.
I mean, can I just say about what we got? I mean, it's okay, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you're gonna say, but you're gonna
say
about
like what we got to see. The footage is never seen
some unseen raw footage.
Yeah,
from,
we got to see some raw 16 millimeter footage that's never been seen before of Mos Eisley. So all these fantastic, like, the speeders, like that crazy spider one. I mean, just seeing, some like the Sandcrawler, all the behind the scenes of a lot of footage of the Sandcrawler, and it just was badass. It's like, holy shit. And the guy talking, man, he, telling the story about him and Lucas, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I just looked it up in my photos because I took a picture of the menu. I had the Mayan cochinita pibil.
There you go. Yeah, it's from down there. Love it.
Yeah.
Like,
and they had like Oaxacan mole, like, just so good.
Armando keeps mentioning the bourbon, but so that bourbon slushy at that place, I had a sip of Joseph's.
At Feast?
Feast. Yeah. It was damn good.
Yeah, I had about 4 of those while I was.
Oh shit, they're pretty strong.
Not in the same day, but like we kept going back to Feast and back to the Royals, which is the hot chicken. It's like a sister. I think it's owned by the same parent company.
Huh.
But the getting a slushy with a shot of bourbon in it is pretty all right.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason? What was kind of the most memorable moment?
The most memorable moment when I got a good night's sleep Thursday into Friday.
Yeah.
That was memorable. Most memorable moment. Christ. There was a moment where I looked around in the B room where we set up, and we had just finished setting up, and people were milling in and like looking at stuff, and I just kind of looked around, and I was like, this is why I come to this. Like, I saw everybody like excited and chatting with each other. Everybody hadn't seen each other, and some people hadn't seen each other in a year. In a lot of cases, for me especially, like I hadn't seen a lot of these guys since last Wonderfest, and I just thought, like, this is pretty damn all right. Like, I could do this for the rest of my life and never get tired of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And Jason, can you tell us a little bit about your experience at the 40th anniversary of the ILM? Like,
yeah, it was all right.
Was there any time where you were like, what the hell?
Okay, so like I got there a couple days early. Like Thursday or Friday. I spent like that whole Friday, at what was ILM. It's now 3210 Studio, and the D building is the model shop. And this sounds so dumb, kind of, but like I walked in there and it felt like home. I was like, oh, this is where I would have worked had I worked here. Like it just felt normal and natural. All the smells were good. It was like, oh, this is like wood shavings and like epoxy resin and primer. Like everything just kind of came together, and I was just like, holy shit. And then like realizing, like, I'm looking at different angles, and I'm like, oh, like this all looks familiar because I've been staring at these photos for the past 100 years. Like it was just sort of an out of body experience. And then like, Bill's there and we're good friends, so it's like just seeing a buddy. But then like he's introducing me to all these other people, and there's a couple of people that I've known already. And like everybody's just so friendly. Even the people that aren't traditionally like known as friendly are friendly. Like it's just really wild.
I was going to ask you about this panel too. Like,
yeah, that's in the C building, I believe. Wait, is that in the D building? It's all a blur at this point. But that's remnants of like, breakers for the blue screen for the Vista Cruiser. Vista Cruiser was one of the cameras, so I got like the little tour, of what once was that. Okay, see that blue on the ground? There's a famous story. There used to be a staircase. It's no longer there, but one of the guys was really an expert at painting the pylons, like those model stands that you see all the models mounted to. It was called a model mover, and inside there was a chain drive that would make the model do this, and the whole thing was on a track, so like the model could go back and forth or twist or like pan, tilt, whatever. And inside was a bunch of like insane neon to like light it up, so when there was a blue screen and the pylon was lit, everything was seamless. And there was an art to painting those pylons, and one guy was like the expert at it, and he had like this huge batch of the blue paint was coming down the stairs, and I guess tripped and like just got covered in it. It went everywhere. And like to this day, like right where at the edge of the door where no one steps, it's still there. Like this was like 30 years ago or something. And I had heard that story because he's like, I looked like a Smurf for like a week. It was awful.
That's badass.
Yeah, that's some dude at the hotel had a Matchbox car. It's like a Lamborghini or whatever. That's a power supply for the TIE fighters that was just hanging around. Okay, so you see the number 14 in pink? That was another gag. They realized that people like crew were stealing tools from the model shop. So they started writing shit in pink and painting like hammers and wrenches in pink, and the guys didn't steal them. It was like not masculine enough all of a sudden. So we're going to paint all our shit pink, and then you're not going to steal it anymore, assholes. So it's like this great like little like insider thing. And that's Doug Chang, who's like the Ralph McQuarrie of the modern era. Just hanging out by the sandwiches. That's Rose. She was like the organizer of everything, and Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah,
Matt's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's Doug. He's telling me to get in the photo. So like they had a group photo of just people at ILM who only worked on the original, and then and then he's like, okay, now everybody who worked on the original and the special edition, now everybody who worked at Sprocket Systems, and then he said, now everybody, like everyone here, like let's take a huge photo. And I'm standing there like looking up at him, and he's like, Jason, get over there. And I'm like, okay. So there's a photo of, like me, like I was like 10 years old and living on the East Coast in 1982, but all right, whatever. That's Kristen from the Star Wars show. Yeah.
Yeah, I got her book. She did like pictures of like some of the artifacts and like
100 artifacts or whatever. Yeah. She's a total sweetheart. I love her to death. Yeah. That's one of the photos. Yeah.
That's cool.
Such a great group of people.
Oh, that's cool. I don't remember seeing that when we talked about it.
Yeah, decapitated Ewok head.
That's cool.
And that's a Blue Harvest crew gear. That's a real deal, baby.
Yeah.
What was that? Why was that stuff there? Just
display. Just for color. Yeah, in the corner.
Whose is that? Is that like Gus?
Somebody. I don't know. Yeah, I mean somebody had it. That's the one. It was kind of funny. A couple of people were like, "That's the real model," and I was like, "What?" It makes me messed up.
That's crazy. Did you plan that? Like, did you expect
her to be? So I packed the shirt thinking, like, wouldn't it be funny if I wore this? But I kind of was like, I don't have the balls. And then Bill's like, I guess I'd mentioned to Bill. He's like, you have to wear that shirt tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. So I wore it. But I got there early and I was helping to set up. And every single person who saw the shirt was like, oh my God, wear that tonight. Holy shit, that's incredible. And I was like, all right, that's a positive. Like, like that's in the plus column. So I wore it underneath my, my dress shirt or whatever, my pattern shirt, and it was buttoned up. And she was holding court with her friends at a table. Not like I'm going to interrupt. Like, I went to the whole thing knowing that I wasn't going to get any really like FaceTime with anybody because it's like this is their reunion. They're there to see their friends. Like if I meet somebody great, I just want to soak it up. It's fine. So I had no expectations. And I'm standing there talking to a couple of people, and it was Bill and somebody and somebody else. And he's like, "Oh, your shirt." And the woman said, "What shirt?" And so I unbuttoned like 2 buttons and showed her, and she's like, oh, she's friends with Marsha. I didn't know this. And she's like, "Oh my God, she needs to see this. Come with me." She drags me over this table, and I'm like, "Okay." And Bill's like, "Ha ha ha, it's happening." And she's seated, right? And she's like, she's a little like, she's like this little woman. So like she's such a big presence, but she's such a small like figure. And they're like, "Hey, sorry to interrupt, Marsha. You need to meet somebody." And she turns around and looks at me, and she's like, "Oh, hello." And she's like, and the lady that had taken me over said, "Show her." And I started unbuttoning my shirt, and Marsha was like, "All right, like, where's this going?" And because she's kind of a pistol, and I open it up, and she immediately just starts going, "Ha ha," and like stands up, and my friend had to kind of help her up a little bit, and couldn't stop touching it, and she was just like touching the letters and like couldn't believe it, was grabbing the shirt. And then she like plants this kiss on my lips, which I was not expecting, which is wonderful. And Kristen got it on video for me, which is great. And then she was just like, "Oh my God, like you don't know what this means to me." And I'm like, "You don't know what this means to me, man. Like you're the heart of Star Wars. Like you are the unsung hero, and it's about time you get your due." It's like I was over the moon that she was so happy about it. Yeah, I love that.
That's a good memory.
I mean, that's a great. I mean, just
like, unbelievable, like experience. It was bananas.
Yeah.
No,
I think, and the craziest thing, like you're saying, like, oh, like I don't know if I have the balls to wear it. I mean, I would be worried about like, oh my God, like what if like George Lucas shows up and then he's gonna be like offended or something.
I'd be like, whatever, buddy. Like, what's really funny that picture previous where Charlie is signing the table cloth or the paper. Somebody had cut that out at some point. They like took it. He wrote Charlie Bailey, ILM model maker, and somebody like took it, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, that's Paul Houston. He's cool. Jeff Mann, good friend Jeff. Yeah, it was always awesome to see Jeff. Yeah, Lauren and Mark Ratz. He's an amazing illustrator. He's done such good work over the past like 30 years. Phil, that's Phil smiling.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Yeah, he's a nice guy. And Ben Bird, I'd never met him before, so that was new for me.
Crazy.
We talked about. I told him I was like, I don't know if you give a shit, but when I was a kid, we accidentally discovered that if you huck rocks at the water towers, I said I lived in Annapolis, Maryland, where the Naval Academy was, and the Naval Academy housing for like the families had these two giant water towers. And if you threw rocks at them, it made the pew 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 noise, like the stormtrooper blaster. Not like the guy wire that you were hitting, but like very similar. And he lights up and he goes on this like 5-minute dissertation about sound waves and water. And he's like, "Were they corrugated?" And I was like, I don't remember. They were teal. And he's like, "Okay, if they were chartreuse, it wouldn't have worked." So he was like really humorous about it. But like, it was just really neat to like give him a little morsel of a memory I had as a kid. Yeah. And he just like lit up and talked about sound and science. It was really,
I mean, the thing about a lot of these people, right? I mean, because I was talking to Hector, right? Hector Cruz, who does the autographs. Yeah. I was talking to him about this, and he's really involved in that. And it's one of those things where it's like, I think a lot of these older, ILMers, like especially with their families, I'm sure they're not getting a chance to talk about this, like just like anyone, right? Like you're not going to talk models with your family and stuff. So I'm sure when they show up to these events or anything that brings up these memories, especially like. I think I don't know if you saw that interview that Tom did with what's her name, the lady that sculpted Yak Face. Oh my God, Judy Elkins, and she was like oblivious to like the fact that like people liked him and that he was popular, that Yak Face was like a thing, and she was just like, "Oh, I never even knew."
Look at this, Jason. That's a Maine Coon. Look how big.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, outside is a little kitten. Look.
Somebody wants
a little kitten outside the window.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, that cat right there stands 2.5 feet tall. You can't tell.
I kind of want one.
You should see Rocky right now. I think it's funny.
Amazing. Yeah,
he's flying at the window.
I try to be respectful of these people because, like, I don't know if they want to talk about this
stuff. At him real quick.
But like, that was another. I'd never met him before, and we talked about stop motion, so that was cool. But like, I mean, can you imagine somebody coming up to you and wanting enthusiastically to talk about your job from 30 or 40 years ago? Yeah. You'd be like, "Who are you, weirdo?" Like, it's a little different because they, worked on what was basically the blueprint for our popular culture and mythology in the modern day.
Yeah.
You talked to
before. Yeah, what's he doing there?
Okay, I didn't know. I'm not okay. I'm not a Marvel guy. I apologize to all you Marvel fans. I've seen like 3 or 4 Marvel movies. I never read the comic books. I read Flaming Carrot and 8-Ball comic. If there's any weird fringe guys out there that would know what that is. But like, I never read Superman or Spider-Man or any of that stuff. I have nothing against any of it. It just didn't resonate with me. And like I saw Captain America and I saw the first Iron Man or two, and then like I was just like, all right, that's enough.
No.
And so I don't know who Kevin Feige is. I still don't even know how to say his last name.
Feige, but Feige?
Yeah, I didn't know who that was, right?
Mhm.
And so he was there with this composer, and Bill was chatting with the composer and was like, over the moon to talk to this guy. And this Kevin fellow was sort of like standing there by himself for a minute. So I just walk over to him. I'm like, hey, do you have anything to do with Star Wars? Like, what are you doing here? And he's just like, no. And I didn't know at the time that like he had been like tapped to direct one and then was like not going to. So it's probably like a shitty question to ask. And he had this look on his face that was kind of like bemused, like, hey, you don't know who I am, do you? Which I think might have been like a good thing because he was just like a normal dude for a while. And we had a nice, lovely conversation. And he was just like, no, I'm just a fan of this stuff. And he said that he would, he has the floating Hill Valley sign from Back to the Future 2 that John Gibson had restored for him. And we talked about models. And he's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I made that X-Wing over there. I'm just like a turbo fan of ILM and their craft. And I just know one of these guys. And he was like, oh, that's awesome. And yeah, we just had like this like normal dude conversation. And then I was like, all right, you take care, buddy. And like walk back to Bill. And Bill was like, do you know who that was?
Like he's like the president of like Marvel. Like he's in
like the architect for like the last 30 years of Hollywood entertainment. Like
no, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like probably out of all the millionaires in that room, he's like the turbo millionaire.
Probably the most powerful person.
Yeah. And I was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
my nephew was like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, no, sorry.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So that documentary that they did where they really focus on Marsha Lucas, the Icons one.
Yeah. The Vice one.
Yeah, the Vice one. So there's a Marvel one now. Okay. So the same thing, but like with Marvel, and it kind of goes through the whole like history of it and how like they sold it off and then they brought it back. So anyways, he's like the center of that whole.
I have utmost admiration for someone who can keep a universe. Like he built a universe and has kept it on the tracks for like at least 20 years now.
Oh yeah.
Like that's tremendous. Like like somebody was like, you need to watch WandaVision. It's real quirky and it's right up your alley. And I'm like, do you realize that I would need to watch like 80 hours of content to understand all the info? Like,
that's what Michael is saying.
Same here, Jason.
I'm so far behind. It's like I can't. I'm sorry.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, I tried to watch one of the Hulk movies, and I was like, "Listen, no, thank you."
Wow. You picked the wrong point.
I was trying to watch them in order, and like the next one was Hulk, and I was like, "This is bullshit." Yeah,
this is. Would have been cool if Salzo could have been there with you.
Yeah.
This is a very cool picture.
Yeah, so that's the C building. That corner is that corner, and actually, do you see that smaller screen that's sort of yellowish up above?
Yeah,
that's the original screen from the screening room for the Star Wars folks. So that's a little bit of history there.
Wow,
that's crazy. I was trying to find the one where Marsha kissed you. I can't find you.
Oh, it's a video. I don't know if I posted that one.
Somebody posted it somewhere because I remember seeing it. But.
That's my model.
We showed it on the show before, Gabe.
Yeah, did we show
it? Yeah. I love any picture of the X-Wing I built in the like its natural habitat. I was like, damn, this looks good in this room.
Like, that's pretty damn cool.
Pretty cool. And the plane from Always in the background just dominating. Pretty rad. Yeah. Was that my Instagram? Okay, that's where you go.
Yeah, I pulled up your Instagram. I figured it was the easiest.
Yeah, why not?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you definitely hard month to top for sure.
I'm not even gonna try. Yeah, I'm still kind of sleep deprived because it was just like hit the ground running. Yeah. Crazy stuff happens. Recover for like 3 days. Prep for Wonderfest. Pack. Oh shit, Wonderfest. And then I'm home. And then my wife left. I was like, all right. So like I've got a whole week where I'm like by myself in the house, and she like I've gone away for like a couple things like this, but I haven't been the one to stay back since I think January 2020 when she was hired by Amazon and like was out in Seattle for a week. So like this is weird. I'm like this
You miss her already, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I was just like I was texting her. I'm like, time has no meaning. I don't know, like how do I make coffee for one person, like for the like set it up for them to brew like in the morning, like all that stuff. I'm like, this sucks. Like it's way
about how good
than
it's
traveling.
think how good it's going to be when she comes back.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm doing all sorts of house stuff, so she's going to be pretty happy to see like new paint on some trim and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Well, guys, we're reaching the 2-hour mark. I think that's a good time to cap it off.
Yeah.
Man, that was really cool. I mean, again, we get to
Everybody has to go to Wonderfest, man. You need to come.
Yeah.
If you can tear yourself away from Disneyland for a couple of days,
right? Got trade.
I don't know. I can pretend. I can lie and say there's Dole Whip over in Louisville, and maybe get through that way. Yeah.
And then, funny enough, and I think Michael and I talked about this back, like when they had the launch bay, right? And they had all the models, and like that was such a cool place. And I know in Orlando they opened it back up, but here in California it's still closed up.
Really?
I wonder why.
I don't know. Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm like, they have so many cool models in there, and it's like, just lost in there. So
hey, but before we hang up, this is completely off that subject, but one thing I did want to mention to all the viewers and stuff, it's kind of weird thing that happened to me. So you guys, I haven't told Jason, but I've got really into the BMX bikes again. That vintage.
I saw a photo of you with a bike, and I'm like, you've been bitten by the.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell, and a lot of the viewers might already know this, but I was clueless that this takes place like this. But I've been following on Instagram a few, some of the BMX, forums and stuff, just checking out these different Instagram pages. Well, I had somebody reach out to me and said, hey, I heard you're interested in a BMX. If so, reach out. I've got a good selection. So I told them, what it is that I had. Yeah, so I just picked this one up. Got a really good deal on it, and that's my fixer-upper one. So, and then when I was at Wonderfest, I purchased that one right there.
Mongoose.
Jeez.
Man,
That's
this
real
is
similar to what I had.
What? Yeah, like when I was like 5, I had a big wheel, and there's a kid down the street who had the green machine.
Oh, those green machines are badass.
Yeah, and I was just like, Mom, Dad, why don't I have a green machine? And then the same thing, like I had a 10-speed, and all my friends had like the Mongoose and like the Diamondback and all that shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, they're cool and they're gonna get laid, and I'm, like we were like.
So anyways, so let me tell you this. So what happened is,
awesome.
I told this guy, I'm looking at the bike, it's very similar to this one. And I said, it was a 1980 Mongoose. It was a Super Goose. And anyway, I went into it, and he sends me this picture of one. And I'm like, holy shit, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And he says, $2,500. And I'm like, holy shit, can you call me? And he goes, I don't call. And I'd go, that's weird. Because if I'm going to spend $25 and I don't know you, if you don't want to deal with me on the phone or something, then I'm not going to send you my money, period.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like, I deal with 1,000 people. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Well, anyway, I'm like, oh, well, that sucks because I wanted that damn bike. Because I was going to say, hey, what's your PayPal? Where are you at? And I want to ask him a couple questions. Yeah. So anyway, about 3 a.m, he messages me on Instagram and says, hey, I can do an audio message with you tomorrow. And I go, okay, that works. So anyway, he does this call. It says spam, so I didn't answer it. He calls, says, I tried to call you. And it was a weird number, so I called the number back. But anyway, he was dry. He had zero personality. I told him about, what this is for, about the rest, just real brief about the restaurant and Jaws. And he's like quiet, and all he says is, all right, well, I got other calls. So, I mean, he was just a total fucking dick. Anyways, I hang up with him, but I'm like, fuck it, I want the bike. So I told him, hey, I'll PayPal you. And he sends me wiring instructions. Okay, well, listen. So I don't know. I'm like, why? I go, well, I can PayPal you, And he goes, I don't do PayPal. I do, but everybody does it by wire. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So Monday morning comes, I go to the bank, and the lady, she's, this one lady, I can't fucking stand her at the teller. When I see her, I want to deal with someone else. But anyway, I had to deal with her. So anyway, I'm saying I need to get cashier's check for $2,500. I need to wire this money. she's like, okay, do you, she's asking me all these questions, and I'm like, she's like, $2,500 for a bicycle? That's quite a bit. And I'm like, look, lady, I mean, I don't need to, they get bikes that are $6,000-7,000. I'm getting a good deal for the bike. So anyway, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but if there's not an address on here, I can't wire the money. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was texting him on that number, and I was getting no response. And I had to go. I'm like, fuck, I got to go. I had to go actually open up an account at another bank. So struck out, I didn't get to send a 2,500. So I go to the other bank, and I know them for 10 years. I'm sitting there going over this stuff. And I go, hey, Kim, can you wire this money? She's like, absolutely. So anyway, I'm wiring it. Anyway, finally sends this address. It's a weird address. And she's like, well, once I send this, you can't get, there's no repercussion. And I'm like, huh. And I was looking at Denise, and she's like, it's up to you. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, go ahead and wire. She's like, you sure? Okay. So she goes and she sends the fax through on the wire.
Yeah.
And the wire, she goes, okay, it's done. Well, we're sitting there trying to open up this new account for my business. And all of a sudden the phone rings, and it's their corporate who does the actual wires. And they're like, hey, do you know these people? Because the address is kind of weird. And I'm like, what's going on? Is this like I go, you know what? Hold off on the wire.
Yeah.
So I call Joseph. I say, Joseph, I got to ask you, because he's so anal about these things. I'm like, Joseph, what's this? He goes, I tell him the situation was, fuck that. It's a scam. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, don't do it. I'm telling you right now. I go, dude, he's got over 4,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
He goes, that doesn't mean shit. And he told me this scenario. So I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call, because then I told him, hey, I'm going to hold it. It's a flag. Everyone, he goes, what do you mean it's a flag? Look, we had a deal. He says. And the deal, he says, just wire the money and I'll send you your bike. And I was like, oh, no, fuck this. Yeah. So anyways, I'm like, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll PayPal you, under, the business deal, and I'll pay the fees.
Yeah.
Or put it on eBay and I'll buy it off of eBay. No problem. And I'll pay the fees. He read it, never heard from him again.
Yeah. Scam.
But I never knew that, Jason. So I talked to this local guy out of Houston that does BMX, and he's like, yeah, call me. And he's like, dude, I get 4 or 5 people call me a day. But it blows me away that Instagram, I mean, I know there's millions of, Instagram pages, but I'm just, how these people get away with it. I want to hunt these fuckers down and kill them, Can you imagine, though, if I would have sent my money, Jason? That guy would have
dude, and I bet you so many people have, though.
And that's right. What the local BMX
and like 4,000 followers. I have like 136 followers, or 4. I don't know. I don't even know how many followers I have.
Yeah, that's the way I am too.
I don't care. That being said, like and subscribe.
I was saying that I heard they buy them.
You're high up there on the TikToks because you got in early, right? He
does about 50 posts a day.
Yeah. Instagram, for some reason, just recent. I'm at 65,000, but this is just recent.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
but like you can buy likes and clicks. I mean, like that guy could have gotten 4,000 followers by paying a couple $100 to somebody who like used bots and did it. So
or he might be in one of these call centers that like that do that. So they probably have like have you seen that one? There's a viral like meme or picture where there's this like old man riding a bike and he has like 35 cell phones like mounted.
Yes, I have seen that. Yeah.
That's probably what they do. They have all these accounts where they're like,
yeah, because hey, that night when I was like on board, I was like, shit. And then I talked to him about the ET bike that I just got. And then he sends me this original Kuwahara. I'm like, oh shit, I want that, And he's like, I'll take 4,500, and if you're buying both of them, send me the money for both, and he'll do it for that. I was like, oh no, but I was like, man, I can't right now, maybe later, but I got to get this one right now. Yeah. And then like Armando just said, in the houses and stuff. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait, but then you never explained. So how did you end up with the bike?
Okay, so it's a different bike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a different guy. Yeah, so I ended up getting this, and this was legit through eBay, and I got a good deal on it.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, but dude, it's crazy. And like what Armando just said.
Yeah.
There was a guy I heard that he's a friend of mine now, and he's in the pool business, and he had bought this house. And what had happened is when he bought the house, he closed on it. He showed up in his moving truck, and when he showed up in the no wait, he showed up just to go and look in the house, with his wife after they bought it.
Yeah.
Well, these people were at his house in a moving truck unloading their shit, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Double sold it.
No, what happened is there's a lady that would take a vacant house and she'd put it for rent in the newspaper.
Wow.
So they would call on the rental and they'd see the house. They would send the deposit in the first and last month's deal.
Keep it.
But then they busted her ass. They had them meet, and then the cops were waiting for her. But these people thought they were moving in this house, and he's like, "I just bought this house. I don't know what you're talking about." You know what I mean?
That's scary.
Yeah, it's crazy the shit that people are. I just it's unbelievable.
Yeah, usually when you hear wire transfer, that should immediately, it's like boom.
I know, and I was just so excited about it. But
yeah,
the good thing is, like the BMX guy in Houston said to me, he goes, Michael, the difference between you and these other guys that I hear from is they actually wired the money. I'd make it my
you're close.
Find these fuckers and kill them, dude. I'm not kidding.
Close.
What?
You were close. You were
But
close.
that's what I'm saying. And hey, by the way, just so you guys know, that lady I can't stand at RBFCU. When I go back over there, I haven't been there since because of Wonderfest. I am gonna let her know what an awesome lady she is and that she was right. And I'm sorry that I just
sorry that I
I was so annoyed by her. I'm like
on YouTube.
I've been talking shit about you on the internet.
Yeah, I said you're a total bitch.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's none of your business if I want to spend 10 grand on a bicycle, It's like, that's quite a bit of money to be paying for a bicycle. And I'm like, okay, mom, you know what I mean?
I feel like sometimes people are just trying to make small talk, but they come across as a busybody. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Give everybody like an insane benefit of the doubt, though. So
it's like she didn't want me to have this bike. I was like, and then she's like,
he's like, I want it for myself. I've been talking to this guy online. That's
you're talking to the mongoose queen of Texas.
I know, exactly. But hey, guys, I love these bikes, man. So the one's pretty pristine, like it's all original. The other one, it had the checkered pads that I had when I was little. So I'm gonna fix that one up to be like how it was with mine, So
awesome,
man. I got
little pegs on the front so your friend can ride.
Yes, yeah. No, that was before. They didn't have that shit when I was.
Yeah,
in the back.
I mean, it was starting to happen,
Yeah,
gonna
do some cool tricks.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up because I was mentioning it on the last show that I was on I got this BMX bike and it was that scam guy, So
yeah. Why? Yeah.
I would love to
I'll tell you about a new little scam alert that I got wind of from an old scammer that we might know.
Oh no!
Yeah, but we'll do it offline.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Well, cool. Well, yeah. Watch out, guys. No wiring. No PayPal friends and family unless you know them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's right. Like do what Joseph does. He just pays the fee.
Michael, you just brought up I sparked a quick memory, quick story. So you guys know I own a tattoo shop here in San Diego, right?
I do now.
Yeah, I own a small tattoo shop. I think I've had it for almost 12 years. And one of the tattoo artists, and they're all, think about it. I mean, most tattoo artists are either like ex-cons or like they're gangsters, right? I mean, that's how they learn their art a lot of times. But there's also the nicest people, that I've met in my life. Anyways, one time we had this guy come in and he got this like weird like eyeball tattoo right here, a big piece, and it was like I think it was like $600 or something like that. And it was when we were taking credit cards still, and I think it was like Square or something like that. And he paid with his credit card, and it was like, cool, okay, everything's done. And literally about 2 days later, we got the charge back, and we saw the charge back, and he was just like, oh, like, I wasn't happy with the tattoo or something like that, right? So like your story, my tattoo artist was like, oh, we have his consent form. I'm gonna call his ass and see what's up. And he's calling and straight up was like, hey, I'm gonna next time I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass. What are you talking about? You weren't happy. And he's like, oh, it's because I asked for like greenish blue eye, and it looked more green than greenish blue, or some ridiculous thing. And he's like, no, absolutely not. I'm gonna beat your ass like next time I see you, and just reminded me of that.
Yeah, Gabe's like, hey, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
You.
that's funny.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy. It's
never
crazy.
know.
Yeah, that kind of got off. But hey, it was a treat having you on tonight, Jason. Thanks for last minute hopping on. And
Yeah, thanks for having me. I felt like I dominated. I'm sorry.
no, dude, it needed to happen.
It was great to have you because, yeah, obviously we're talking about all this. It was great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, for damn sure. Well, everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us on another Saturday night. And Gabe, it's good to be hanging out again, you know?
No, I know.
I mean, we don't even talk. People, you know, how long has it been since we talked, you know?
Probably since last week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shameful.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us. Good to see you, David Boudreau.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on, dude.
Later, guys. Thanks, Jason, again, man.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.